Lonny here, and welcome back to another episode with Good Sense Soap Co. Today, I'm going to be sharing what I know about soap stamps, soap stamp making, and soap stamping. I continue to learn, continue to grow, and I'm just making these videos to help pass along that knowledge as a retiree and doing this as a hobby business. I'm really excited about the techniques and the learning that's occurring as I work through the process. So I hope you enjoyed too. If you do, like, follow, and subscribe to this channel, that would be greatly appreciated. And it will keep you updated on any new episodes that come out. So again, we're going to focus on soap stamp making today. So I'm going to start off with how do I make a soap stamp. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen, jump over to my Tinkercad application. And here, this is one of my soap stamp designs, and we're going to talk about others, but this is just a simple kind of a handheld single piece soap stamp with a flat bottom and top. We'll talk more about that here in just a minute. But the one I'm going to make right now is one that I want to make from my own soaps. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to say handmade by Good Sense Soap Co. And then we're going to make it go down a bit into the soap. Like that will leave about 3 millimeters above the soap or the stamp. It can be more than that. It can be less than that, but you want to make sure that it's the right height to be able to get into the soap. I'm going to move that up just a little bit. We'll fix that later. I'm going to say by. Let me use the @ sign. This is where I'm not sure if it will all fit. So that's basically how you make the text. Now the question is, if I really make that small, is that going to be too small for soap making? That's basically how it's done. So I'm going to take the soap stamp out for now. And actually, I think if we get rid of that by, it will create more space. There we go. Maybe we can even make that a little bigger like that. The other thing that we can do is we can make these a different font. This is this multi-language font. I think if we make it as mono, it's a little compressed. And then if we do this serif, then I can merge all of that. All right. So that looks pretty good, doesn't it? Only one problem. And that is that handmade needs to be reversed. Because we are stamping down, it's actually got to be the reverse of what it would be on the soap. So what we got to do there is flip it like that, 180 degrees. There we go. And I'm going to copy this, and I'll show you why here in just a minute. We'll move this back. We'll recenter it, find it, and that's our soap stamp. So now what we can do is flip this around, turn 80 degrees again. If you notice on a lot of stamps, they say what's on the stamp inside on the top of the stamp. So we're going to do the same thing. Let's move this over here, move it up just a tad. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to make that a full instead of a solid. Put it back here. Enter them. And this time it's right side up so you can read them. And then rather than it being raised, we're going to lower it into the soap. Yeah. Now, when I combine them, that's render. Move this up a little bit. So what we have now is we have an embossed or engraved of what the soap is. And then on the other side is the actual soap stamp. Pretty cool, huh? So let's go ahead and we're going to save that as an STL file. And then we're going to stop share. And the next step is to use another utility, which I'll now share, called Cura. So we're going to open that soap stamp handmade, and there it is. I'm going to move it up towards the front of the grid. And for this, so you select the quality of print. Because it's a soap stamp, I'm not needing as high of a quality of print. But because it's a smaller object, I'm going to want a brim instead of a skirt. And I'm also going to want to flip this so that it's printing flat side down. And then it will do the raised part at the end. So let's see what that looks like. So you can see this is a 3D rendered model for a 3D printer. That's what Cura does. And we're going to print that via USB. We'll be right back. All right. So the base is printed. As you can tell, these aren't the fastest in the world, but it looks like it's going to be a good print. It should be printing that face side down, which had the embossed letters in it for what the stamp's going to be. And it will build up from there. So we'll be back in a bit. All right. So We're closing in.
It's starting to take shape.
Part that's left will be the very top with the actual stamp. So we'll check back when it's done. This is the 3D printer that we are printing the soap stamp on. And what it's doing right now is it's starting to build what we call the brim. And the brim just gives the model some stability on the deck there for it to adhere better. That deck is warmed up to 60 degrees Celsius. The PLA filament that's coming out, that's coming from there. That's being heated up 210 degrees Celsius. So pretty hot stuff. The bed being heated up helps it to adhere through this process. So I'll be recording throughout the process, and we'll see what the final product comes out as. All right, so we're going to actually stamp a soap now. This is a different stamp that I created with the state of Texas on it. And I think this is a better example of a soap stamp than the handmade at Good Sense Soap Co. one that I created, which honestly, the print was just too small and would not work well for stamping. So we're going to switch over to this one. And what I'm going to do is take this Bucky soap that I created. You can see a separate video on that. And I'm going to spray some alcohol on that and on the face of this and press down in. I will probably use a mallet and tap it lightly. I could use saran wrap to help prevent some of the raised up soap that happens. So that could happen, but we'll just go ahead and use it like this and see how it goes. So stay tuned. All right. So that turned out really well. Now, this soap was created probably a week ago. I think it did a really good job. Again, the image is reversed on the soap stamp so that it comes out the way you want it on the soap. So that is soap stamp making from conception to stamp. Hope you enjoyed it.